few hours. Some hours he's on his job, some hours he's helping Shiva to record. Who would like to engage him?
I'm going to be pretty busy the next few days, and then I'm gone until Monday. So I think I should do.
Do you have anything that you need help with? That he could help you?
I don't know. I could find out.
Find out if you need something?
I could find out if he could help with it.
Okay.
Probably not, because I need to, it's more like I need to work with Radhan Basanti.
Oh.
There is stuff that he could do for Dr. Ohm's album that needs to be done.
All right.
So I could ask him to do that.
All right.
I can try and find some temple
Yeah,
service.
if you both can think of anything that he could help with.
Okay.
Even at the ashram, like
Yeah.
cleaning that front pigsty yard.
Yeah. I have stuff in mind. I'm just not going to be here to help him engage in all of it, you know?
Could you make a list then?
Yes.
Whatever you need. And also, as I said, the ashram.
Cool.
Rebo.
Oh, it's time.
It's time.
My goodness. It is. The bartender is going to be in a couple of minutes.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapanakamana Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Agyanantamrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Gona Prashtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Vanayati Namane Vandeham Bhakti Chakoram Kuranganeja Preshtitam Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Samivanam Namastubhyam Shri Radha Eka Nishtitam Risayana Katamritam Sankirtanam Anandaram Goswami Varam Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namane Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Udarya Madhurya Gunesha Yuktam Varam Varanyam Purushan Mahantam Nirayanam Tvam Shirasanamami Nama Om Vishnupadaya Keshava Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vamaniti Namane Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vishyatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Acharya Simharupine Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshaviti Namane Hatimatya Charitraya Swashitanam Chapaline Jivaduke Sadartaya Shri Nama Premadayane Gaurashaya Vigrahaya Krishna Kamayakacharine Rupanuga Privadaya Vinodeti Swarupine Prabhupadantarangaya Savasad Gunashaline Mayavadata Moganaya Vedantarta Vede Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuyajvana Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Pasidhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambada Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Virayate Gaura Bhava Bhume Svam Nirjeshta Sajdana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahaviranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surata Pangur Mama Mandamate Gati Matsava Swapadambujo Radha Marana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kapadrumada Shimarat Nagara Simhasanashton Shishi Radha Shina Govinda Devo Preshtani Visevimano Smarami Shima Rasana Sarambi Vamshi Vartata Tashtitaha Kashan Venus Pane Gopir Gopinatta Shiestuna Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Page 23. Krishna hoite chaturmukha Hoya Krishna sevan mukha Brahma hoite nara dera mohati Narada hoite vyasa Madhvaka vyasa dasa Purna pragna padmana bhagavati Nihari madhava vamshe Akshobhya Paramahamse Shishaboli Yangi Karakore Akshobhya Shisha Joya Tirtaname Parichaya Taradasye Gyana Sindhu Tore Taoite Doya Nidhi Taradasya Vidya Nidhi Taha Rajendra Oilo Taoite Tahara Kinkara Jaya Dhamaname Parichaya Parampara Janabaramote Jaya Dhammadasya Khyati Shri Purusha Dhamma Jati Taoite Brahmanya Tirtha Suri Vyasatim Tatara Dasa Lakshmi Pati Vyasa Dasa Taoite Madhavendra Puri Madhavendra Puri Vada Shisha Vada Shiyesh Vada Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Ishvara Puri Kedanya Korirenya Shri Chaitanya Jagaguru Gaura Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Lupanuga Jane Rajivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Sarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajana Jiva Raghunatha Hana Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Vara Narottama Seva Para Janapada Vishwanatha Sham Vishwanatha Bhakta Sata Banadeva Jagannatha Tara Priya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Mahabhagavata Vada Shri Gaura Kishora Vada Hari Bhajanite Jara Moda Shri Vaishnava Vivada Surya Seva Seva Pada Tahara Daita Dasanama Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Swarupa Rupa Nuga Shri Keshava Bhakti Pragyana Gauriya Vedanta Veda Maya Varota Mohanta Gauravani Prachara Chandama Pracharira Gauravani Bhakti Vedanta Swami Puralira Prabhupada Kama Kesha Priya Mahajana Vamana Narayanhana Gauravani Tade Pranadana E Saba Harijana Gaurangera Nija Jana Tanera Uchiste Morakama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara. Page 36. And for anybody who's new to these morning prayers, so you may have been here when we sing prayers in a certain order. In the morning, we do similar. We sing prayers in a certain order to our gurus, to the Vaishnavas, then to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, then to Radha Krishna, and then we do Mahamantra. And for the most part, for the first 3 songs we do it all together, and it's basically the same melody. It's page 36. Vrindavana Vasi Jato Vaishnaveda Gana Partame Vandana Kori Sabara Charana Nilacharavasi Jato Mahaprabhu Gana Bhumite Padiyavando Sabara Charana Navadvipavasi Jato Mahaprabhu Bhakta Sabara Charana Vando Hoyanuraka Mahaprabhu Bhakta Yato Gaudadeshe Stiti Sabara Charana Vando Gaudiya Pranasi Jai Baise Gaurangera Gana Udvabahu Gauri Vando Sabara Charana Hoyatena Hoyi Bena Prabhu Jato Dasan Sabara Charana Vando Dante Korigasa Ramanda Torite Shakti Dare Jane Jane Eveda Purane Gunad Gaya Jebashune Mahaprabhu Gana Sabapatita Pavana Tairove Mui Papilo Inushadana Vandana Korite Mui Kato Shakti Dori Dhamma Buddhi Doshe Mui Dhamma Matra Kori Tatapi Mukhera Bhagya Manera Udasha Dokshakshami Moadame Koro Nija Dasa Sava Vansha Siri Hot Yama Banda Chute Jagate Dolaba Hoe Prema Dana Lute Manera Vasana Pona Achirate Hoya Devaki Nandana Dasa Elo Bekoya Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Page 200. And we start this off with the Panchatattva mantra and the 6 Goswamis. If you don't know the Panchatattva mantra, it's the Sri Krishna Chaitanya mantra. And the 6 Goswamis, Rup Sanatan, Raghunath Das, Shijiva Gopata, Gopal Bhatta, Bhatta Rabinath. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Vande Rupa Sanatana Dasara Gunata Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedoya Kori Swapashada Sviyandama Sahavatori Atyanta Dudaba Prema Kori Baridana Shekaya Sharana Goti Vakatera Prana Danya Atmani Vedana Gomtrip Vevadana Avashadakshi Be Krishna Vishvasapalana Bhakti Anukura Matra Kayera Svikara Bhakti Pratikura Bhava Vajanangikara Sharanga Sharanagati Hoi Bejahara Tahara Pratana Shune Shinanda Kumara Dupasanatana Pade Dante Trinakori Bhakati Vinoda Pade Dupada Dori Kandiya Kandiya Bole Amito Adamba Shikaye Sharanagati Garohe Utama Jaya Swaparshada Jaya Goda Hari Swaparshada Jaya Goda Hari Jaya Swaparshada Jaya Goda Hari Swaparshada Jaya Goda Hari. And sorry for not saying it earlier, but that last when we say the Jayas, it's Swa Parshada, which means his associates, and it's the first word in that second line. Swa Parshada. Nitai Gaur. Shivanand Prabhu, would you like to sing for Nitai?
No, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
I'd like to sing, but I'm not qualified yet. Not yet.
How about we do page 66 so we can do the same melody? Oh wait, sorry, it's page 61. We did the three that we sang this morning. Announced it. Oh, okay. I didn't get that. You want to sing a bhajan?
Sure.
Huh?
On Gauranitai.
We're at Nitai, yeah.
Narottam Das Thakur's. Let me see. Looking at the index. There's Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Karmoy or Granga. Yeah, Granga 86. Huh? You want to? I can play harmonium.
Yeah, you want to do harmonium?
Yeah, I can play harmonium.
I cannot play much more harmonium.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that was kind of the extent of my harmonium.
Oh. Yeah, it's lefty. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite Nayane babini ram Gauranga bolite habe Pulaka sharira Hari Hari volite Ayane babenira Gauranga bolite habe Pulaka sharira
Hari Hari bolite Nayane Babenira Gauranga bolite Abe Gauraka Sharira Hari Hari bolite Nayane Baya Araka Benitai Chade Karuna Hoibe Samsara Vasana Mora Kabe Tu Chahave Araka Benita Charme Karuna Hoibe Samsara Vasana More Kabe Tujam Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shudaha Bimana Kabe Hamayirabo Shri Vrindavan Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shudaha Vimana Kabe Hamayirabo Shri Vrindavan Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Ham Bujabo Se Jugala Priti Rupa Raghunatha Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hame Bujabo Se Jugala Priti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Mora Asha Pratana Karayesa Narottama Dasa Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Mora Asha Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu More Asa Pratana Karaye Sada Narottama Dasa Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite na yana babenira Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira Hari Bari bolite na yana Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Nandana Gaura Hari.
Want to do one more?
Someone else? You could play harmonium. Someone can sing, I can play harmonium.
Yeah, that's good. Let's both together. Yeah, and it's 10 o'clock already. Radha Krishna Pranamara Jugala Kishora Jivane Marane Gati Harana Himora. Radha Krishna Pranamara Jugala Kishora Jivane Marane Gati Harana Himora. Kalindira kule kili karamera mana ratana bedira upa vasavadu jana. Shamagari ange jivachua chandanera ghana chamara dulabo ghave heriva mukha chandra. Lalita Vishakari Jatasaki Vrinda Adnaya Kari Boseba Charana Ravinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasiranudasa Seva Vilasa Kore Narottama Dasa Radha Krishna Pranamara Jugala Kishora Jivane Marane Kati Harana Himora Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Do you want another Maha Mantra or start class? It's already 10. Oh, right.
Jnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yam Prabrajantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Tadua Juhava Putreti Tanmayataya Tadavo Benidos Tang Sarvabhutaridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vinay Aparada Lakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadi Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tam Vina Iti Vigyai Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike Kripayati Yadi Radha Padita Sheshabada Kimapadavashishtam Pusti Maryadayorme Yadi Vadati Chakinship Smeda Sodita Shrir Vijavaramani Pankya Mukti Suktya Tadakim Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekhar Smera Samurali Manohara Radhika Rasikamam Kripanite Swapriya Charana Kinkari Prananata Vrishabhanu Nandani Srimagabjarasalola Satapada Radhika Paratale Kritastiti Tam Bhajami Rasikendra Shekhara Samvidaya Dashane Trinam Vibho Prartaye Brajamahendra Nandana Astu Mohantavati Vallabha Janma Janmani Mariswari Priya. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti began Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather gurus Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and the assembled devotees Diksha Gurus, or my Shiksha Guru Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj, and so on. So we were discussing yesterday or the day before that we're going to be starting a new theme today. Different devotees called out different books that they would like to hear. Two of them, of course, were Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. We're going to kind of, sort of, try to do both and see if it happens or not, and if it happens, if it just goes too wild or not. So, previously, we were up to the 7th canto. We were in the middle, that previously means a few months ago. We were in the middle of the discussion, glorification of Sri Prahlad Maharaj and his devotion. But today, I want to go all the way back to the beginning of the book, beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, because I don't think that those who were there, I think only one of you was there 4 years ago when we started, really knows what the beginning is about, do you? Maybe you do.
6 questions?
That's not at the very beginning.
Oh. Janmadasya?
Yeah. So, the book begins, Srimad Bhagavatam begins. There are 3 prelude verses. The first is I guess they're all invocation verses. Especially the first, which Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur spoke for 3 months on, because there's so many deep meanings. So we learned this verse back in the early 70s by Srila Prabhupada's mercy. It's a long verse, and it has many layers of meanings. I don't think you have it. We don't have a whole bunch of Bhagavatam first volume, first canto. But if everybody has a phone, then I think Ankit is very expert at going to finding verses on your phone. Could you or you explain how?
Yes, you just want to go on Vedabase, vedabase.io, and then you can go to library, and then you can see Srimad Bhagavatam, and first verse, Canto 1. So you just Canto 1, Chapter 1. And then
Does anybody know it in Sanskrit? Janmadyasya Tonvayad Iterates Chartes Shrabhigyan Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Moyanti Atasuraya Tejo Vadi Mridam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trishago Mushat Tam Nasvena Sita Nirasta Kuvakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So this verse is written, or rather spoken, by Srila Vyasadeva, who is the literary incarnation of the Lord. He prays, O my Lord Sri Krishna, O son of Vasudeva, all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Krishna because he's the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifest universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. That was a lot said already. He's the absolute truth. All other truths are relative or non-truths. Unless something is seen in relation to Sri Krishna, then it has no reality. Know it to be my illusory energy. That reflection which appears in the darkness. So, according to not only Vyasadeva, but all scholars of reality, of the Vedic wisdom, he's the absolute truth, primeval cause of all causes of the material creation, which tells us that a devotee who is Narayana Parayana, who sees Krishna everywhere, when anything happens in his life that appears to be an obstacle, odd, unfortunate, he takes as the mercy of the Lord to help him make more advancement in bhakti, so he becomes happy. Even Narada Muni, Gurudev was explaining, he was originally the son of Brahma, called Manasuta, Manaputra, the son that came out of the mind of Brahma. And then in his next life, he was a Gandharva, a demigod. And in his next life, he was the son of a very poor maidservant who, fortunately, was serving in a Brahmana community. And fortunately, it was during the rainy season, the 4 months of the year that even in Miami it happens, where it's constant rain. And so the sages don't travel, they stay in one place and educate the people there. So the 4 Kumara brothers, 5-year-old saints, the oldest sons of Brahma, they came and stayed in that village, and they instructed Narada on truth, on reality, and how to become free from illusion, misidentification with the body and the mind, and things in relation to them. And so Narada was getting so advanced that he started thinking his mother was an obstacle, because he wanted to go off into the forest and meditate on the Lord and realize the reality of the mantras that he was given by the sages. But his mother just wanted him to sit on her lap and show him all kinds of affection. She was opposed to that idea. So Narada began praying, oh Lord, please take away this obstacle. Disconnect me from my mother, who's trying to bind me in by her affection. And so the next day, a snake bit his mother, and she died. And then Gurudev said, well, he was happy. Not because he was happy that his mother was suffering, or maybe for the moment before she died, but because he knew that because it was an arrangement of the Lord to free him from the bondage of household life, it was also good for her. She got a better birth because she was part of the instrumentation to free him. And so he immediately went off to the forest. He was traveling through mines and beautiful gardens, beautiful rivers, and then he went into dangerous jungles with lions and tigers. He's only a 5-year-old boy. And then he sat down under a banyan tree and began to meditate. And, well, first of all, he saw there was a very pure lake. And he was so hungry and thirsty from wandering so much. And so he drank the water and took a bath in that pure lake, and then he felt refreshed. It doesn't take much. If the demands aren't high, then the satisfaction is easy. So then he sat down under a banyan tree and began to meditate. And after not a long while, he saw Krishna's expansion, Lord Narayan, face to face. And he became overwhelmed with ecstatic symptoms of hair standing on end, profuse tears flooding his body, and pallor of the complexion. So then, after just a moment, that vision of the Lord disappeared. And then he became just like an aerial voice, speaking to him as an aerial voice. And when he disappeared, because of the ecstasy that Narada was feeling, that ecstasy turned into bitter grief, and he began crying in sadness and feelings of separation. And then he kept meditating, and he tried to get the vision of the Lord, but it didn't come. So then the Lord spoke to him that in this life you will not see me again because your desire is not great enough. You still have some slight material desire. So there are desires in the mode of goodness, desire is in the mode of passion, desire is in the mode of ignorance, like ignorant desire is give me wine, give me prostitutes, give me drugs, give me meat. But Narada's desire was in the mode of goodness. He wanted to meditate in a pure, lonely forest. But that was still a desire. It was still his desire. It wasn't for the satisfaction of the Lord. So then Lord Narayan spoke to him and said that in this life you won't see me again, because the reason I did appear to you is because I wanted to increase your eagerness. So what I want you to do to get that eagerness increased is to travel freely all over the world, expounding on my transcendental pastimes and my glories. The reason he was telling this, he was speaking actually to the author of that, author, compiler of all the volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, because Vyasadeva, Sutta Goswami was explaining to the sages of Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is the place which is the hub, the very center of the universe. Because in the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma contemplated a wheel that encompassed the whole universe. And the hub of that wheel was this place, Naimisharanya, where Sutta Goswami was speaking to the sages. 88 sages headed by Shonaka Rishi. And another reason that this place is so important is that by performing sacrifices in this very place, all the influence of all demoniac people comes to an end. So very powerful. So this Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken right there. So Vyasadeva was performed his morning duties. He was by on the bank of the Saraswati River in his ashram, Badarik ashram, by the Himalayas. And he was thinking, he saw the future. He saw into Kali Yuga, where men have but short lives. They're lazy, misguided, unlucky, always disturbed, quarrelsome, hypocrites, violence, cheating, all of that. And he was thinking how to help them. So he divided the four Vedas into, the one Veda into four, and then he wrote so many other corollary scriptures like the Mahabharata, the Puranas, the Upanishads, for elevation to heavenly planets, enjoying future good lives, liberation, and something of the glories of Krishna as well. Because Bhagavad Gita is the essence and the actual purpose of the Mahabharata. But still he wasn't satisfied. He knew everything, but he wasn't satisfied. So just at the point where he was really morose in dissatisfaction, thinking that he wasn't happy with his life, at that moment, that same Narada Muni appeared to him and said, what's the matter? Why are you so sad? And he said, I'm the patient. You're the doctor. You tell me why I'm so sad. So Narada told him, you did everything except for one thing. What was that one thing?
Didn't describe the pastimes of Krishna.
You didn't describe the pastimes of Krishna. Because I'm trying to look for the verses.
17427.
7?
17427.
What do you mean?
Lokatas Janatogundam. Chakre Sapadasam.
Yeah, that's later. I'm looking for the verses when he's telling about his past life. I mean, that's the conclusion. But can you work on your pronunciation?
Sure.
Do you mean, how does it start?
Sure. Bhakti Yoganam Manasi.
That's a different one.
Oh, that one I did midway through. Anarto Pasamam.
Anarto pasamam shakshad bhakti yogam rogsache lokasya janata vidvangs chakre satvata sanghita. That all the world's anarthas, all of their unwanted habits and thoughts, which are all the miseries of the material world, which are superfluous to the living entity, can at once be mitigated by the process of bhakti yoga. But the whole world does not know this. And therefore, the great sage Vyasadeva has written this scripture in the mode of goodness. So where is it that Narada is telling about? Because I want to find, it's the beginning of chapter 6 actually. Because Narada is telling him how in his previous life, when was his previous life? In the previous creation, many millions of years ago. And Vyasadeva is hearing how he was the son of a poor maidservant, and then his mother died. And then he said, it's pretty amazing because like most people can't remember anything from 10 minutes ago, yesterday, but your memory is as sharp as something happened a second ago, and that's in the previous millennium. So can you tell me what happened after you got initiated? So I'm trying to find that, because there Narada gives several verses about the importance of speaking nothing but the glorification of Krishna. All right. So the Lord said to him, O virtuous one, you have only once seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me, because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from material desire. By service to the Absolute Truth, this is Lord Narayan speaking to Narada, child Narada, even for a few days, a devotee attains firm and fixed intelligence in me. Consequently, he goes on to become my associate in the transcendental world after giving up the present deplorable material worlds. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. Even at the time of creation or at the time of annihilation, your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Then, the Supreme Authority personified by sound, that's his person, sound. What's the main sound? Hare Krishna mantra. Because sound was created by Lord Vishnu. It was the first element that was created. And sound is that which creates the material world, and also that which destroys the material world. Like, Basanti is a guest, and she just came in. So I say some sound. Welcome, Basanti. Come in. Have a seat. That establishes Basanti's relationship with the floor, the temple, the seat, the pillow, perhaps. And then there's another sound that destroys our relationship, and that is the sound of the Hare Krishna mantra, as well as the transcendental message of the pastimes of the Lord, which also include the pastimes of creation. So it includes the philosophy. Huh? Anuvriti Shabdat. What? By sound,
Everything is created.
one is liberated. Maybe you're saying a different one. Which is yours?
No, I'm thinking of what you're thinking. My memory is just.
Okay. So then, all of a sudden, he stopped speaking. Feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisances unto him, bowing my head. Thus, I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, again and again, ignoring all the formalities of the material world, by chanting and remembering. It's not an ordinary thing. By chanting and remembering the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and non-envious. If I'm not doing this, I'll never find any satisfaction, no matter what I try. And so, O Brahmana Vyasadeva, who is about to write the Srimad Bhagavatam, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and who therefore had no attachments. No, I can't think of Krishna. I have to figure things out. If I simply turn to thinking of Krishna, he'll figure them out. Srila Gurudev expressed in Badger, California, that we have so many problems, and they're coming like waves in the ocean, and they're coming at me. And I'm thinking, if I just concentrate on satisfying that problem, then I'll be okay. But I don't realize there's a bigger wave coming just right behind it. So trying to solve problems doesn't solve problems. But if I think about Krishna, then he will take my problems and carry them on my head. That was a very beautiful statement. So, I, who was fully absorbed, just sit down, okay? Who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and who therefore had no attachments, being completely freed from all material taints, met with death, as lightning and illumination occur simultaneously, right? Lightning, illumination. That means at the very same moment that I quit my body, I got a transcendental body befitting an associate of the Lord. I quit my body of material elements and thus acquired all my acquired fruitive results of work stopped. It all comes from remembering, hearing, chanting. Then at the end of the millennium, when Lord Narayan was lying down in the water of devastation from the previous creation, Brahma began to enter into him, along with all creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. Then, after the night of Brahma, which is 4,300,000,000 years, when there's tremendous devastation, talk about devastation, 36 years of fire coming from the mouths of Anantashesh, that is Lord Vishnu's serpent bed, and 36 years of flood, all along with, in tandem with, you could say, the dance of Lord Rudra, Lord Shiva, all conducting this happening. And then I always say when I tell this part, what, Basanti? Do you remember? Although this annihilation has happened to us many millions of times since the beginning of time, we're so dull that we keep forgetting and we keep wanting to enjoy this world. So after the night of Brahma, 4,300,000,000 years, Brahma awoke to create again, and then all the rishis also came out of the transcendental bodies of the Lord. And since then, by the grace of the Almighty Vishnu, I travel everywhere without restriction, both in the transcendental world and in the 3 divisions, that means heavenly, middle, and hellish planets. 3 divisions of the material world. This is because I'm fixed in unbroken devotional service. This is a dikshit, a person who has diksha. And thus I travel, constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called the Veena, which was personally given to me by Krishna himself, and which is non-different from Krishna. So then there's Krishna, and the Veena, which is non-different from Krishna, and Narada, who is non-different from Krishna. So imagine the sounds that makes. And Srila Gurudev also said that the notes of Narada, as well as the dance of Odissi, are all coming from the ankle bells of the gopis when they dance. So Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appears on the seat of my heart as if called for as soon as I begin to chant about his activities. It's true that by practicing restraint in the process of yoga, controlling the senses, one can get relief temporarily from disturbances. Even if you take a deep breath, there's momentary relief. You feel a little grounded. And from the disturbances of lust and greed. But this is not sufficient to give satisfaction to the self, to the soul. It's like, you feed the sweater with food. Yeah, it gave some nice coloring, but it didn't satisfy my hunger. For this satisfaction is derived only from devotional service. Beginning with what, Basanti? Chanting the holy name and fame. Remember that verse? What? No? Yeah, go. No. Shuyamanane Bhakti Paramapurusham Bhakti Utpajate Pungsam soka moha bhayapaha. Simply by giving oral attention to this Vedic literature, bhakti awakens in the heart, Krishna appears in the heart, as Narada is saying, and one becomes free from hunger, thirst, and fear, and limitation. Yeah. I'll ask some of you tomorrow what it is. You can show that to them, Vasanti. Sutta Goswami, he's the one who's speaking in Naimisharanya. Thus addressing Vyasadeva, Srila Narada took leave of him, and vibrating on his Veena instrument, he left to wander at his free will, completely detached. And then what did Vyasadeva do?
Thus he fixed his mind.
He fixed his mind,
And thus he saw perfect in devotional service without a tinge of materialism. And
thus he what?
But thus he fixed his mind perfect. Can I borrow the mic? Otherwise, I know you don't.
He fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by the linking process of devotional service,
Thus he saw
bhakti
the Lord.
yoga, without what? Without a tinge of materialism. And thus he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his external energy as a shadow, which was fully under his control. Then we come to the verses that you were speaking about earlier. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of nature, thinks himself as a material product. What illusion! Like if I'm thinking myself my clothing, then I throw my clothing where? In the washing machine. And then I think, I'm drowning in the soap suds. Thinks himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reaction of material miseries. Okay, here we go. Anartam upasamam shakshad bhakti yogam adhoksaje lokasya ajanataha vidvangs chakre satvata sanghita. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, has nothing to do with us. It's like a dream. Can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled the Vedic literature, which is in relation to the absolute truth. Satvata Sanghita. And here's the verse. Just happens to coincidentally be right here. Yasham Vaishuyamar Yam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutpachate Pungsa Shokamoha Bhayapaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality, sprouts up at once to extinguishes the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness.
Which verse is that?
Huh? Which verse? It's verse 177. Easy to remember. Okay. And then, of course, he taught it to his son, Sukadeva Goswami, who taught it to, well, he didn't teach him directly, but Sutta Goswami was in the audience. And Sutta Goswami became realized from hearing. And so before he speaks, what's the beginning of his speech? Oh, yeah. First he's offering obeisances to Narayan Rishi, or is that after that?
No, I think that's after. That's verse 4.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the verse that we say. That we say every morning before class. Yang Pravajantam. That is, I offer because the bona fide teacher has gotten realized from his bona fide guru. So without taking any credit for speaking, he's offering obeisances and prayers for the power of his guru and Guru Varga to come in his heart for the benefit of him and everyone he's speaking to. So I offer my respectful obeisances to the great sage Sukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. Can you imagine? Okay, so yeah, imagine he can enter into everyone's heart like the super soul. And he knows where everyone is at. No one can fool him. He was once in France, and he said, suppose a disciple comes to me, and I say, how are you? How are you doing? Well, I'm all right, I'm fine. You're fine? Yeah, I'm fine. He doesn't tell me that he has a few girlfriends. So that problem, which goes in like a needle and out like not an elephant, not out like an atom bomb to destroy his bhakti, because he withheld it when I asked, and he's just entangled. So, who can enter into the hearts of all? When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation, cried out, "Oh, my son, indeed, only the trees echoed in response to the aggrieved father." And then the next one is very interesting. Yaksvanubhava makila shruti saramekam adyatmadit pamasitit tirsatam tamondam sangsadanam karunaya paranaguyam tam vyasasunam apayami guru maninam. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Sukha, the spiritual master of all the sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence. When I was first joining Srila Prabhupada at 26 Second Avenue in his first temple, he said, suppose somebody is a great swimmer, and then he's trying to swim across the Atlantic Ocean. How great a swimmer is he going to be? He's going to struggle. So, they're struggling to cross over the darkest regions of material existence. He spoke this most confidential supplement, the Srimad Bhagavatam, supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge. It is the cream, supplement, the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. So I think I'll end there. Are there any questions or comments? Wait a second. I forgot to tell the rest of the first verse. I left after a couple of sentences. So I'll repeat that. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he's the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. And he is independent because there's no other cause beyond himself. It is he only. Well, let's go back to what he told Brahma. Because he first, in fact, the next sentence here is that he first, he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the first created being. So, let's hear something of what he said to Brahma in the second canto, chapter 9. O Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who existed before the creation, when there was no material nature, nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature which is the cause of creation. And whatever you see now is only me. And after annihilation, what remains is only me. If you happen to see anything that doesn't have a relationship with me by your vision, know that to be my illusory energy. That has no reality, is the shadow that exists in the darkness. That means no substance. So, then continuing the verse, got to get through it. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen on fire or land seen on water like a mirage. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reaction of the three modes of nature, that's all it is, appear factual, even though they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from illusion, means you don't fall from Goloka, Vrindavan, or Vaikuntha. Because why? It is forever free from illusion. That means there's no Maya there. Free from illusion. Free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So that's Krishna as the Sristikata, the creation of the creator of the creation. Then there's a deeper meaning with Radha and Krishna. That is, they are the creators of everything, including the different rasas. Janmadiyasya yataha means that Adi Ras means the original Ras. What's the original Ras? Huh? Madhurya Ras. That's the original Ras. And all other rasas come from that, along with all the perverted rasas in the material world. If the relationship is Krishna-centered, perverted doesn't mean perverse. It means it's a reflection, like a reflection in a muddy river. Everything is upside down and made of muddy water. But it's purifying when Krishna is the center. So, where was I?
Mother, I have a question.
Okay, I just have to finish the sentence. So Madhurya Ras is the Adi Ras, Janmadi Yasya Yataha, because it says here that he's the source of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So there he's the source of that with Srimati Radhika, plus the Adi Ras, which is the cause of all other rasas. And then, coming back, all the other rasas, which came from Madhurya Ras, nourish Madhurya Ras. How does a cow nourish Madhurya Ras?
Since it's an excuse for him to go out to the forest.
Very good. And get out of the house and meet with the gopis. Well, how does Mother Yasoda nourish Madhurya Ras?
She brings Radhika.
She invites Radhika to cook because she heard that Radhika had a boon from Durvasa Muni that whatever you cook, whoever eats whatever you cook, he will never be defeated by any demon. He will live for a very long time, be very beautiful, powerful. So naturally wanting that for her son, she invited Radharani over every day. At the same time, that Vatsalya Ras creates a tension because Madhurya Ras and Vatsalya Ras don't go together. In other words, if Radha and Krishna are meeting, can Mother Yasoda come along?
No.
If she comes along, what happens? They run in different directions. So that's the next deep level. The next deep level is and in that case, it wouldn't be that he alone spoke the Vedic knowledge in the heart of Brahma. Who would it be? Sri Sukadeva Goswami. What is the Sanskrit of that? Adi Kavaye, the original poet or the first speaker would be Sukadeva Goswami. And then we could go deeper and say that the absolute truth is the goal, the source, not the source of Krishna, but still playing a part in being the cause of everything that Krishna is. Like behind every great man, there's a great woman. So behind Krishna, what made him God is her standing by his left side. Because without her presence, without her being the embodiment of all opulences, all his opulences, what would he be?
Nothing.
Nothing. He would be Nirvishesh Brahma. So in that case, who is the Adi Kavi? Who's the Adi Kavi? Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami.
What's the meaning of Adi Kavi?
The original first poet. And it's not that Rupa Goswami came only 500 years ago and Sukadeva Goswami came 5,000 years ago, because they're both eternal. And then, what's the most deep one? Lord Chaitanya, who is a combination of Radha and Krishna, or Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radhika to understand her glory. So, I guess we'll end here. And because Krishna is the original guru, right? Krishna hoiti chaturamukha. So we want to follow the guru, but he also has a guru. he has a Prem Guru who controls him like the wind controls the leaves. How does the wind control the leaves? Just look in our backyard. It's a constant shower. There's no end in the blowtorch. Okay, so, any questions? No questions?
I have a couple of questions, but you answered the first one. So, what I want to make sure that what I've heard, when I first, many years ago, looked at the Bhagavatam, and then it said Vasudevaya, right? Vasudevaya. And then I looked at the purport. I'm talking about 40, 50 years ago.
Can you please use
Sorry.
the mic?
And then I looked at the purport 40 or 50 years ago.
Vasudevaya where?
Vasudev, like on this very first verse.
Oh,
right.
okay.
And then I looked at the purport, it said Krishna. Now, of course, I'm a new person. And if you look throughout the Bhagavatam in Prabhupada's translations and even some of his commentaries, if you're a new person, you say, well, wait a minute, Vasudevaya, and then Prabhupada says Krishna. Now, she's explained that there's layers and how she's explained this. But now I have another question. And she might chastise me for what this question entails. Because if we were to follow the thread of her glorification of Srimati Radhika, the Adhikeva, or Gurudev's glorification, on Parampara's glorification, then isn't it possible that when we look at this verse, there is no other cause but him, there is a deeper meaning? And we sing this idea of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayanya, yes, and she mentioned Chaitanya. But then she mentioned that Krishna is zero or nothing without his heart, without Radhika, without his energy. So wouldn't it be fairly rasik, if not safe, to say that actually Radhika, being the internal potency of Krishna, or Krishna's heart, is actually the cause of Krishna? In other words, if we took all these other extensions, because when we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then Prabhupada says Vasudeva is Krishna, but when we say Bhagavate, but Krishna, although he's the supreme Bhagavan, he doesn't want to be Bhagavate. So in the same way, in this verse where we say that Krishna, we all know that the only cause of Krishna is himself. But actually, who is the internal potency of Krishna that causes this external manifestation of the internal potency? It's Radhika. So this is my question. Is that although we say Krishna is the only cause, we're saying that
When he was asking a question to Gurudev once in a morning
in a
walk,
form of reverence.
Gurudev said, is this a question or a lecture?
Well, it's a question that contains a lot of information for the answer. Because when we say Om Namo Bhagavate, for example, I was looking at somebody chanting, a very famous devotee from ISKCON chanting. Everyone chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But if you looked very closely, you would see there are no tears. There's no dancing. Remember when it's like the yogis? Om Namo, very shanta almost. But if you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, what do you get? You get dancing, you get tears, you get hair standing on end, you get ecstasy. No one chants Hare Krishna like this except the yogis, basically.
What's your question?
So my question is, when we say that Krishna is the only cause of all causes, this is something in the terms of coming almost from the side of Krishna. But we, as coming from the side of Radhika, we know that actually, and Gurudev has said, Krishna is zero without Radhika. So actually, Krishna's cause, he's not the cause, even though Radhika is himself. He is actually, the cause of Krishna is actually Radhika.
You can't say that.
How come? That's my question. How
Because
come you can't
she
say
is
that?
his energy.
She belongs to
can't-
him. She said she belongs to him.
She is his energy.
Right. So therefore,
He
she's his
is-
cause.
You could say that,
Thank
but
you.
you have to
That's-
say,
ah.
no, you have to say that the sun, can you say that the sunlight
Energetic source.
created the sun?
No, you say that the energetic source
The sun is nothing.
is Krishna.
Yeah,
and the energy is the light.
that's right. But what is that? Shakti
Shakti
Matayor Abheda. There's no difference between the energetic
Right.
and the energy.
Therefore, if there's no difference between the energetic and the energy, you could say that the internal potency of the energetic source is the energetic source's energy, and it's being conceivable. Because no body can have a body without a heart. If she is the Antar Shakti of Krishna, who is Krishna's heart, and she comes out, you see what I mean? In other words, you never see a person walking or being alive without a heart.
Good.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So, I don't think this was talked about. It's a little off topic. But they say that when you go to the Dham or a holy place, the Tirtha, that you experience purification. And when they say that, they say, oh, like monkeys or little kids will steal your stuff, or you'll lose your things, or you'll get sick, or blah, 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 blah. So I've got two questions about this. One, why does that happen? And why does it have to be unpleasant like that? Why do these unpleasant purificatory things have to happen? And two, how can we look at it in such a way where we're grateful for it rather than being upset about it?
So are you asking that we hear them when we go to the Dham, we get purified, and the purification may take the form of monkeys taking our glasses or bad things happening to us, we get sick, diarrhea. So why do these things have to happen? It could be answered in a few ways. One is, we could say that I would have gotten much worse purification, but it's just being minimized now, like a summary punishment. Krishna's trying, that's number one. Number two, Krishna's trying to help me understand not to take pleasure in this world. Because it's when, as we read in all these verses, it's when we become attached to material objects and material enjoyments. To that proportion, we suffer. So to somebody like Narada Muni, you wouldn't expect a person to be happy at 5 years old when his mother dies. But he saw it as the divine arrangement of the Lord to set him free so that he could realize the reality of the mantras that the sages had given him. And he also knew that his mother was also benefiting because she was part of the let go ceremony that Krishna was doing with him. So it depends on how you see it. Everything depends on how you see it. Everything depends on your paradigm.
Thank you.
Does that really answer the question?
I think so. Yeah. I just wish that purification could be less unpleasant. But if
It's unpleasant to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, there's a lot of miseries going on in Goloka Vrindavan. Demons coming all the time, right? Whirlwind demons, cart demons, witches, donkeys, all kinds of demons. And the inhabitants of Vrindavan also suffer, but they don't suffer like we suffer because Krishna is their center and they're only concerned about Krishna's welfare. Whereas we're only concerned about our welfare. And because we, our bodies and minds, and my conception of myself and my goal of life and my source of happiness is me, not Krishna, therefore I suffer. But that suffering is very beneficial because it's like when you make gold, not you, but when a blacksmith, a goldsmith, he's hammering at the ore, O-R-E. He's hammering and hammering. And what comes out of it? Gold. Similarly, this hammering is to bring the gold out of us, who we are. So it depends on what my paradigm is. I'm the center or Krishna's the center. Got it?
Yeah, so just to, I guess, clarify, if a person would have Krishna at the center, then even if anything unpleasant happens, they would see it as Krishna's arrangement and there would be no suffering because everything happens under his control.
He would see it as pleasant.
Yeah.
But Nitai has a question.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's an added to what she was saying. When we're not capable of doing things for Krishna, like yesterday I was on a podcast and I wasn't thinking.
Oh,
I was like half thinking, wow, I'm here to do this for Krishna, but obviously I'm still thinking like, I'm on a podcast, woohoo, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, people are gonna love me, and I can't help it. It's just my mind, I'm Balajiv. Do we just trust that like, okay, because we have like some shred of sincerity of like, okay, I'm really gonna try my best, really, I'm gonna just try to speak in like ways that's gonna please, really just what's gonna please Didi, hope please, Of course I still mess up because it's like in the moment, I can't always just not that, not fixed, not that pure. So do we just trust that like, all right, kind of grace is flowing anyway and like it's understood like you're trying at least, Okay. That's it.
There's a verse in the, what book is that? The third verse of Upadeshamrita. Srila Prabhupada was explaining one of the qualities for advancement is the confidence that I'm trying, and surely Krishna will, take me to the rest, and not giving up hope or patience that it is working, the process is working. And then, of course, there's weeping, and we're not qualified to weep. But as his Ankit's guru, Jai Bhattaka Swami, is famous for saying, cry to cry that you can't cry. Like that, because you are lamenting, because you see it in yourself as it's happening. It's happening. So that's good.
Thank you.
Because a couple of years ago, you didn't see it. You just thought, I'm the doer, and you're satisfied to go on. So there's advancement. Nitai?
Yes. First, I need some clarification. Is it understood that the first sound of Shabda Brahma is the Hare Krishna mantra?
First sound?
Like Shabda Brahma?
Shabda Brahma.
Shabda Brahma is the Hare Krishna mantra?
Well, it's certainly there eternally.
Okay.
It doesn't have a cause.
Okay. And so I was learning in my YTT that the Om is the first primordial sound, Adya Sabta, and I just wanted to get some clarification on that.
Yeah, there's a description in the Bhagavatam. I'll have to get that for you, because I don't know the complete answer about the relationship of that. But
Oh.
it depends on what you're considering the meaning.
So it's only part of it.
Hmm?
It's only part of the whole.
Yeah, and you could also see AUM, but then we come back to the Hare Krishna mantra. Actually, the original Sankirtan general is Srimati Radhika. Like in this painting here, she's organized the Sankirtan party. But I'll try to find that for you. I think it's in the 11th canto. I'll get back to you.
Ankit has a question. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just had a thought. I was thinking we're in the material world and we're covered by the modes and affected by Maya. We're in the material world here as jivas, affected by Maya and affected by the modes of material nature. And obviously, when Krishna is when he's doing his pastimes here in Vrindavan 5,000 years ago or eternally, but especially here in the material world, he puts himself under Yoga Maya so that he can, he doesn't want to think that he's the Lord and he wants to, just enjoy it in the same way. So I was thinking, we're under Mahamaya and the Lord, we say he's our best friend and he's with us and he's always with us. But does Krishna really, in that case, will Krishna really understand what we're going through? Because he always knows who he is, but at the same time he doesn't with the Yoga Maya. But we are under Mahamaya. So Krishna, I don't think, has ever been in a state where he doesn't know really who he is or goes through suffering. So I guess the question, where he doesn't know who he is, or he doesn't know, I guess the general sentiment of my question is, can Krishna really relate with us? Because he's never been in sort of under the Mahamaya, as you would say.
All right, so in that question, there are also a lot of answers from different angles. So there's There's a book which you and I discussed yesterday or the day before called Rag Vartma Chandrika. In that book, Srila Viswanath Chakrabarti Thakur describes Krishna as Sarvagya and Mugdata, means simultaneously, because he's God, simultaneously he can know everything, past, present, and future, can know, as it says here, the hearts of all living entities, and at the same time he can be completely ignorant, like a little child who can't turn over by himself. In the third canto, it says that everyone is Sri Sri Radha Raman Bihari Jeev Ki Jai. Everyone is looking for someone who knows the extent of their suffering and how nice they are. Is it you? Is it you? But that person is Krishna because he's in your heart. And he also manifests as Sri Guru. All of his mercy manifests as Sri Guru, who is, he puts out the forest fire, and he's fully aware of how the living entity is suffering. Does that answer your question? It says it also says in that first verse that he's directly and indirectly conscious of everything. At the same time, he's independent because there's no cause beyond himself. So, yes. But it's also explained that that's why we say the invocation prayers before speaking, That's why as soon as we get up in the morning, we go through from closest to us to furthest, because first we need the mercy of the closest to get the mercy of those who are further, and then their mercy to get the mercy. And then we do the Vaishnavas, and then we do Gaura-Nitai, and then we do Radha and Krishna. Does that answer it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Martin, then but it answers the question. But he was saying, basically, we were saying because Krishna is not experiencing Mahamaya and we are. Does the experience of being under Mahamaya, because he's Krishna being transcendental to both Mayas, he's in his own self-category. How is it that he's able to experience the Mahamaya like we are? And I think you're saying it's not necessary for him to be under Mahamaya.
Because she's under him.
Right.
Mahamaya. Krishna says in the Gita, this material nature is working under my direction, producing all moving and non-moving beings. And by its rule, everything is created and annihilated again and again. So he doesn't need to be under Mahamaya. Mahamaya is under him. But he is under Yogamaya. He is controlled by Yogamaya. But he also orders Yogamaya, like put Baladev as the seventh womb of Mother Devaki, and then he'll get the womb ready for when I come. So God is inconceivable. Prabhupada said, if God does not have some inconceivable things, what is the meaning of his being God?
Sure.
Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Na Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Premanandi. Vanshakopatubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavan